Hi, welcome to the Creation Experience Museum. I'm Miss Sherry and I'm joined today with some guests, Miley and Ada. And we are standing in front of our exhibit in the lobby on turtles. Right now this is the exhibit, but this is a rotating exhibit, and so this will change up ever so often in the lobby. But for the next few weeks, we will have a turtle display out here. And so today we want to answer some questions, some common questions about turtles. But remember, when you're looking for answers about anything in the world around us, you want to start with an excellent source to get your answers. And so remember to start with God's Word, the Bible, because it is true in everything it tells us. And God says that He created everything around 6,000 years ago, and turtles were created during the creation week. And God created turtles and other animals and plants with the amazing ability to have a variety within their kind. God says He created everything according to its kind. And so turtles were created to be turtles. And that's exactly what we find in the world around us today. We even find turtles in the fossil record. Okay? That doesn't mean that they're millions of years old. Remember, millions of years old is just a bad idea. It's not good science. But we find the turtles in the fossil record that look amazingly just like the turtles that we have living today. So they haven't changed and turned into anything else. They're still turtles. So Ada and Miley are here with me today, and they're going to help answer some common questions that you might have about turtles. But before we get going here, there are about, oh my goodness, I think over 300 different varieties of turtles. So we're not going to talk about all of them today. We're just going to answer a few common questions. So Miley, I think you had the first question.
Do turtles hibernate?
Yes and no. No, they don't hibernate in the sense of they don't go into a really deep hibernation, and not all turtles hibernate anyway. They do a form of hibernation. It's called brumate. Okay, so land turtles will bury themselves in the ground when it gets really cold to help them survive the temperatures, and so they go into a light sleep. And so it's not really like a really deep hibernation. So that's kind of a tricky question. It's a yes answer and a no answer. So, okay. Next question.
How do you tell turtles apart?
Well, there's a lot of ways to tell them apart. One way is by their shell, of course. Now, Ada's holding a ocean turtle, okay, a sea turtle. Miley's holding a tortoise or a land turtle, a box turtle. So one way is to identify them by their shell. Another way is by their feet. An ocean turtle or a sea turtle are going to have flippers, okay? A land turtle is going to have toes, all right? And how they walk on those toes is another way to identify them. But then you also have their neck, okay? There's two different categories. There's the side neck, and then there's the straight neck. A side neck turtle will turn his neck to the side when he pulls it in his shell, and you can still see part of his neck. A straight neck turtle will pull his neck all the way into his shell, and so that you can't see any part of his neck at all. So that's another way. The way to tell them between the difference between a male and a female, in one way is their eye color. A male will have a red eye color. A female will have a brown-gray eye color. So that's another way that you can identify them. Also their tail. A male will have a longer tail than a female. So there's lots of different ways to identify when it comes to turtles, but you have to really have an index or a key that will help you in some cases when you're wanting to get a specific kind. So, next question.
Do turtles come out of their shell?
No. Turtles do not come out of their shell. Although you might see that in movies and you might see that in cartoons, and that's funny, but they do not. The shell is actually part of the turtle. Their shell grows from their ribs. Ada is what she's showing you here is the inside of a sea turtle, and so you can see the ribs there, and you can also see the spine of the turtle. So it is part of the turtle, so they cannot come out of their shell. Also, Miley has a box turtle that lives on land. You can also see, it's kind of hard to see their ribs there, but you can also see the spine of that one. And then on Miley's turtle, on the outside, and even on a little bit on Ada's here, but especially on Miley's, you can see that the turtles grow this material that's much like your fingernail here that grows with the turtle as the shell grows. And so, yeah, so that's a great question. So a turtle is attached to its shell, and it's actually a shield, and it protects them. So wouldn't it be cool to be able to go inside your shell and protect yourself? But that's what a turtle does. So next question.
How long do turtles live?
Well, some people think that you can tell how old a turtle is by its shell, by the rings on its shell, but that's not true, because they could have a growth spurt, and one year they might grow faster than another year. So unless you were there when the turtle was born and you could document it from year to year, it's really kind of hard to get an exact date of how long they would live. But we do know, we have documented that land turtles, some box turtles, can live up to 40 years, and some turtles have even been recorded to live over 100 or even over 200 years. So turtles can live a long time if they are in the right environment. So, next question.
What do turtles eat?
What do they eat? Well, it depends on their environment, again, on what they would eat. If it's a land turtle or tortoise, they would eat a lot of plants and probably some worms and some beetles and maybe even some small frogs or even a small fish or a small snake even. If they live in the ocean, they're going to eat a lot of algae. They could eat crabs. So a large variety. So turtles are considered omnivores. So they would eat plants and they would also eat meat.
How many eggs do turtles lay at one time?
Well, we know that turtles are born from eggs because they are in the reptile family. And so depending on the species, they have a variety different, and they range in numbers. But a box turtle normally will lay about 5 eggs. It's called a clutch. And so they will do that several times a year. To whereas a sea turtle, they actually come out of the ocean and they lay their eggs in the beach, in the sand, and they will lay from 50 up to 200 eggs at a time. So it really depends on the kind of turtle on how many eggs that they lay. But all turtles lay eggs. So that's good. Well, I hope you have enjoyed our segment here on turtles, and I hope you can come and visit us in the museum where you can get a closer look at some of the other things we have, turtles here we have on exhibit. But if you will leave us a comment today, if you're viewing this, leave us a comment. We're going to be giving away this book. It's called God's Big Book of Animals, and so it has a great section in here on turtles, so it'll be a great resource for you to have available to you. But I want to thank you for tuning in, and I want to invite you to stay tuned with us on Facebook and also visit us on the web. You want to go to creationexperiencemuseum.com and leave us a comment and ask us any questions that you might have out there, and we'll do our best to answer them. So from Miss Sherry and Miley and Ada, we want to say so long, goodbye, until we see you next time.